Yo, what up, yo? When you think about how you immediately can see or hear somebody and how that's going to make you kind of think about something, is that prejudice? It's hard because we all are our own individuals. We all have our own culture. We all come from something. So, this one right here was mass incarceration, about how people get judged just for the way they look, the way they act, the way they talk, where they live. When you live in a place that's heavily policed, then you might go to jail for having drugs or selling drugs. When you live in a nice place, you can do drugs and look crazy, and no one's going to even come and arrest you. Okay. Uh, Please come hit me up on my Zoom today. I'm trying to get this video up before our Zoom. But this was what's due yesterday. Mass incarceration. We're going to come back to it next week with some hip hop. Wu-Tang Clan in the house next week. But now I was inspired to think about who I am because we're going to look at something different. So I'm wearing my Irish stuff. Did you know that I was Irish? Could you look at me and tell that I was Irish? Is there any way to know that I was Irish? I wonder. Ireland, how could it be? Let's think about it. So, that was our activity that was due today. Here's our new activity, but white people a little bit. Okay? Did you know I was white? All right. Hello, all. Big thanks to those of you that are doing the work. The rest of you, please pick up the slack and get to moving in your brains. All right. Here's the assignment. You make a copy. Boom. All right. Let me get to the top of it. All right. Intro to privilege. Okay. As an Irish descendant on my dad's side, fully, the Irish used to have some not privilege. The Irish became white, okay, and the Irish gained the privilege of the white people. We could have read that in our Takaki book, but we've not been reading the Takaki book. All right, so here we go. Privilege, okay. I kind of put this up on our thing. Pretty much all of us have privilege. You're not an ant. Ants get stepped on, okay. Although in Hillsborough, people got stepped on back in 1989. 96 died. So I guess some humans did not have the privilege of not getting stepped on. Privilege, things that make it easier for certain groups, certain individuals. Okay. So what we do here, kind of typical here, we start with kind of what we call a privilege walk, where you would step forward to represent privileges you have or step back to represent privileges you don't have. Okay. If you have a privilege, you highlight it. Okay. So there's our highlight. We come here to our highlighter. Pick your color. You know me, I like to go pink. Okay. Uh, you know, certain people have certain privileges. Okay. This boy has the privilege of a really mean father who's going to push him to work really, really hard. Have you done your homework?
No, and I'm not done with my schoolwork.
Okay. Do you want to get beat up?
No.
All right. Then better get out of here and go do your work. Okay.
Part of my work is going on a bike ride.
Well, get out of here and get to work. All right, so getting back. So we highlight if it applies to you, okay? And it's plus 1 point, step forward. Minus 1 point, step backward, okay? Just kind of interact with the document for me as always. Really take this stuff to heart about, here's the big one for me. If you have no fear about being fired from your job because of who you date or the gender you choose, take one step forward, okay? I'm heterosexual. It's quite a big privilege. Okay. Our homosexual brothers and sisters out there don't get that privilege in many states. In California, they do. The Supreme Court is going to decide if they get that privilege as a country here in June. We'll talk about that. Okay. Your final score. What kind of privilege do you represent? What kind of privileges do you have? Okay. Then a quick little check-in on some notes. Okay. There's some really good stuff in these notes. Okay. It's online learning, so just got to make sure you're doing something. So we'll just do kind of easy definitions, fill it in. Okay. Again, here's the presentation. Okay. Here's the presentations. Okay. If we had time in class, I would show you what you can see about me. Okay. Your perceived race, the white thing. Okay. Some of the things you can't see. Kind of interesting. The fact that, a lot of our homosexual brothers and sisters out there kind of maybe hide their sexuality. Anderson Cooper announced yesterday, and we saw this, that he had a child. Okay, Anderson Cooper does identify as homosexual openly, but not a lot of our homosexual friends out there are able to do that. Okay, in Burlingame High School, it's hard. Okay, it's all talk about money and wealth. A lot of folks, not everyone at Burlingame has money. It can really feel daunting to be in a place like Burlingame of perceived wealth and know that you go home and it's not all milk and honey. Going back to my shout out to how LA was supposed to be. Okay, not all of us come from the same educational background, and that's a big legacy of privilege. Okay, it is so much easier historically as a white person to get education than a person of color. That's a legacy of racism that is hard to overcome. All right, come through, kind of get your words. Interesting video about intersectionality. I've talked about it, how things can really kind of build upon each other. I was given the example of a African American, poor, transgendered sex worker. Those people exist. Okay, the murder rate for those people is incredibly high. Okay, it's tough. That's intersectionality. How you're different, kind of. On the flip side, wealthy, white, male, large. These are kind of things that I've experienced. It is kind of helpful being a big person, and I wasn't always big, so I know that privilege. Okay, I was a little guy in high school. I saw my little guy right there. Go through the words and do a nice little privilege kind of introduction with throwing paper. Okay, why can't the guy from far away make it? Okay, a nice real thing about skin and just the default to white. Okay, the whole thing about normal or whatever is normal, that kind of group gets the privilege. Okay, some good videos. I like the Ally video. I like her story. It's engaging how she really is able to kind of stand up for a friend of hers. Okay, or I'm sorry, one of her relatives stands up for her. Okay, here's a video of a privilege walk. That's pretty good too. It's real world. People reflect on how they felt. We would have done that in the class. Examples of privilege is pretty good. And I missed one other video here on slide 11. Does privilege make you angry? Hopefully it shouldn't. Okay, keeping it real. Like, some of us get privileges. We must understand that those that don't have these privileges are gonna necessarily struggle. Okay, this guy does look angry though. Okay, all right, that's our kind of part two. Okay, that's our kind of part two. We go through some notes. Okay, and then part three is so do one of those videos. Okay, I think it's slide 11, by the way. Okay, and then we go to these videos about four. We pick four. There's more. There's white people for days on there. Okay, the links can take a while to load. I'm sorry about that. Okay, but here's Connor. Okay, and Connor talks about how he sold drugs. He got locked up. I can take it back. He got arrested but didn't serve. Okay, that's Texas. Okay, he's got a lawyer. He's privileged. Right, he's white. That's the opposite of what we saw about mass incarceration for those people that get locked up. Okay, so just kind of look at this stuff. We made some questions for you. As always, you interact with the document. You show us your learning. You show us that you're putting down words. You're making sentences. You're still up here thinking, and I'm happy. All right. I got a Zoom right now. I'm going to post this. Come hang with me for a minute. Say what's up. All right. As always, mad love to my people out there still grinding, still wanting to learn, and I hope to see many of you soon.